once again to our Carnival Time program. From the heart of the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago. Today, Tuesday, we will walk through the best that has happened during these days of Carnival. Join me. The Oruro Carnival once again dazzled hundreds of thousands of spectators, which, unlike other celebrations of these festivities, has a deep religious content, a veneration to the Virgin of Socavon. The dancers arrive at her altar after having covered and dancing about 3.5 kilometers. Our correspondent Freddie Morales tells us about the details.
Every year the Oruro Carnival begins as it began several centuries ago, with a procession from the center of the city of Oruro to the Church of the Virgin of Candelaria or Virgin del Socavon, and behind the procession, the explosion of dance and music.
Is the best in the world with these traditions, the colorful, the magic, and the faith to Mamita of Socavon.
This folkloric expression does not exist in any part of the world. The truth is Oruro is the best.
Here demons and angels dance together every Saturday of Carnival. They come dancing to the feet of the Virgin of Candelaria. They themselves and dedicate to her the effort of having danced for almost 4 kilometers for 3 hours.
It's my first year dancing. I'm very excited. They always say that if you dance with a lot of faith and devotion, you don't get tired, and believe me, it is very true.
Wonderful. The truth is that honoring the Virgin is something that fills our hearts. And the truth is that it is a very beautiful experience.
The Mornada recreates the slow walk of slaves brought from Africa by the Spanish colonialism to work in the mines of Potosi. Chained, they climb from sea level to the 4,000 meters of the highlands affected by altitude sickness. It is the second most symbolic dance of the Oruro Carnival.
It's a satisfaction to be able to reach the feet of the Virgin. She gives us so many favors, and we do not fulfill what we promise her, an effort made a reality.
To thank her for allowing me to reach another year before her and to ask for health for my family, for my baby girl.
All the dancers ask or thank for the favors received. Ani arrived from Huancayo, Peru. Last year she prayed to the Virgin, and this year, she came to thank her.
Last year I came empty-handed asking the Little Mother for a miracle. And today I come with the miracle in my hands. She has granted me my little daughter, my Maria. She is also called Maria in honor of the mother, and I am very grateful, and I attest that the little Morenita is very miraculous.
At the Oruro Carnival, 60,000 dancers, accompanied by 18,000 musicians, perform 20 of the most popular dances in Bolivia. There are folkloric groups that exceed 1,000 people, which are forced to divide into 4 blocks, accompanied by an equal number of music bands. It is estimated that this year, some 300,000 visitors will participate as spectators of this masterpiece of humanity, as defined by UNESCO.
And from Bolivia, we go to Uruguay, where the carnivals are not only celebrating music and dance, but also Uruguayan identity, with a strong component of cultural resistance and creativity. It's a great party and a questioning of the established order.
Extends for approximately 40 days, beginning at the end of January and culminating in February, just before Lent. One of its most representative elements are the murgas, musical theater groups that exercise social criticism through songs and performances wearing colorful and elaborate costumes. In Montevideo, there are spectacular parades where comparsas and groups showcase Afro-Uruguayan dances, costumes, and rhythms, such as Candom. This rhythm has African roots and is fundamental in the celebrations. The comparsas are usually accompanied by drums that mark the beat. Carnival reflects a mixture of indigenous, African, and European influences, which makes it a very rich and diverse cultural event. It is a space where social and political criticism is expressed, using humor and satire as tools to reflect on the reality of the country.
Carnival as a social phenomenon has also historically been a space of resistance and denunciation against power. Different cultural expressions such as Candom or religious celebrations like Yemenaya have in their origin a response against oppression, as the Uruguayan Afrombadista leader Susana Andrade explains.
In reality, the only opportunities for celebration that our enslaved negritude and also the native indigenous population had were the Christian Catholic celebrations and there they took advantage of to give free rein to a need for spirituality in search of freedom. That is, the political necessarily linked to the religious, the ritual and the ceremonial as a need for religion, for freedom.
Since those times, different rituals and rhythms, such as Candom, have been a form of denunciation against oppression. For Andrade, that original meaning is still valid today, expressing itself as a powerful political critique.
I believe that the political and religious spiritual symbolism of Afro-Uruguayan negritude is present in our carnival. Even if the figures of orishas or caboclos, of warriors, of several entities that have to do with the Afro-sacred are not represented, I believe that our Candom that is born ritual is the strongest political criticism of the need for emancipation, for freedom, to overcome the exclusion that the Afro and Afro-Indigenous population still suffers today in a context of structural racism.
The murgas are another carnival expression that Uruguay has. It has a very different origin from Candom, but it is perhaps the most representative group of this party in the South American country.
The Uruguayan murga to the rhythm of the gaditana, of the murga of the chirigota, is a group that gives its opinion about politics from the point of view of humor. A political musical comedy. And that political musical comedy is developed in approximately 40 minutes. As the Uruguayan carnival is a theatrical carnival, it is not a street carnival, it is fundamentally theatrical. It has more than 30 theaters in the capital of Montevideo, which is also half of the country's population. It has 30 stages open for 40 nights.
These groups also maintain the essence of their origin, linked to satire and social criticism, and are often questioned by those in power for the same reason.
Nowadays, people often say, Carnival has become politicized. Carnival has always been politicized. I am talking precisely about those groups that were born or that began, let's say, to have a greater protagonism at the end of the 19th century, when the governments of the time were absolutely subjected to criticism, to the look, to the mockery, to the ironic thing of Carnival.
Despite having different meanings and origins, both the comparsas of Candombe and the murgas represent questioning of the established order. In their own way, both concentrate the attention of Uruguayans during each carnival celebration.
Mateo Grille, teleSUR, Montevideo, Uruguay.
From Uruguay, we travel to Peru with parades that can last for 8 consecutive hours. The Marca celebrates the carnival there. Neighborhoods and rural communities compete to present the best faves and choreographies. Details of the most joyful carnival. Jaime Herrera tells us more about these festivities.
This is the comparsa of the Cambay Embassy, one of the most awaited by the Cajamarquinos, and that every year competes for the prize of the best costume. This 2025, they decided to represent the dance of the devils of Cajabamba. They design and make their costumes, which can be valued at more than $1,000 each one.
We have been working on this for a year in advance because of the level of the embassy. Look at the rhinestones and the embroidery. They are processes that take time, but with all the heart of Cajamarca to give our land this blessing that is our carnival.
All the neighborhoods and farmers' communities prepare to show the best of their art. Thus, they submit themselves to the sacrifice of walking for several kilometers in their complex or heavy costumes, such as this one from the Chantapaksha neighborhood, the representation of the death of the Inca warrior Shenango Oracoca, which weighs more than 80 kilograms.
See it as a sacrifice, but you know how it is. I mean, the carnival in the Chantapaksha neighborhood is all we have. We don't see it as a sacrifice. It is a pleasure that we have. We like the carnival to be able to enjoy and to be able to reach all the people.
The jury qualifies not only the costume, but also the choreography and creativity. For hours of parade, for hours of participation of different delegations, but something special at this moment, Ayacucho Senior, a very emblematic and very comparsa in Cajamarca and belongs to the San Sebastian neighborhood. They are celebrating 50 years of life in the Carnival of Cajamarca. For this year, stately Ayacucho wore its costume in honor of the oldest goldsmith archaeological center in America, Kunturwasi.
I am very happy to have celebrated 50 years of my comparsa Ayacucho Senior.
How old are you?
68.
But you're still young.
I'm still the same. Thank God he has given me this opportunity to go out now.
The parades of Sunday and Monday of Carnival can extend up to 8 hours in a row, where every minute you can enjoy the diverse motifs, some representing the Cajamarcan culture, or also characters of current events. Beauty and colorfulness for which Cajamarca is considered the capital of the Peruvian Carnival.
For the joy, the values it transmits, love, commitment to this earth. We are renewing every day our customs, our culture, and we want Cajamarca to be also a tourist power.
Beyond the competition, the carnival is the perfect occasion for fraternization. Gone are the days when at the end of the parade, there were confrontations between neighborhoods, even with tragic results.
Jaime Herrera, teleSUR, Cajamarca, Peru.
The Trinidad and Tobago Carnival parades are the heart of this festivity, known as the most spectacular events in the Caribbean and nicknamed the greatest show on earth. It's a mix of glitter, technical display, music, and cleanliness. Let's see what happens after these fantastic, amazing parades.
For 2025, over 300 bands are participating in Day 2 of Trinidad and Tobago's Carnival, just in time for tomorrow's Ash Wednesday celebrations. With bright, beautiful costumes, many are assembling at the Queen's Park Savannah for the climax of 2 days of partying. We've noted, according to the Carnival schedule, over 400 different events for the month of Carnival, from February 1st into early March. We are speaking with an entrepreneur from the UK, Ray Mahibar, from Penal, London, who is from Lost Drive, who has touched down to play mass. He emphasizes the importance of coming back to play Carnival.
Importance of coming back to play Carnival, that freedom, part of our roots, slavery and everything, and it's a celebration of life. So for me, coming back to play Carnival, it's all about coming back to our roots and our slavery roots and everything that we come back and we are free. This one day we are free, and it's a fantastic moment. Everybody should do it. Everybody should do it.
Another masquerader, Lester Dunod, who played in the Moko Jambi Band, shared some details with our team.
The Moko Jambi Band, our band, and we perform the mass. Carnival is very important because it's a African tradition, but it's also now a Trinidad and Tobago tradition. Okay, thank you. What's that? We are playing Cane. Go and look at the band banner, you'll see the name. We are Cane, celebrating the African 1804 revolt. So, thank you.
Meanwhile, this reveler came all the way from the USA and is excited to be playing mass in Trinidad and Tobago for 2025.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and I'm with Sitar and Paparazzi, and I'm having a great time at Carnival. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out to the A. Absolutely coming back. Yes, time and time again.
One of the younger masqueraders, Anderson Lewis, believes that youth like him have a part to play in the future of Trinidad's Carnival.
I think the younger generation should participate. Reason being because of certain aspects of tradition and history. I think it's an educational thing for the younger generation to know about the culture. Not so much about all this prettiness, but more so back in the days when Carnival was invented with all our integral Carnival characters like the Fancy Sailor, the Dame Lorraine, the Baby Doll, etc. I think all of those things is a very important part of our culture. So I think letting the younger generation know about it carries on. It not only carries on the tradition, but it also instills a sense of togetherness within them.
Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago is undoubtedly a tapestry of color and rhythm, a celebration that resonates far beyond its shores.
Television is national. You are viewing live Trinidad and Tobago Carnival 2025. We're here. It's the greatest show on earth. Paparazzi and Farid Cavallo, thank you for your support. Carnival, the greatest show on earth. Woo!
Happy Carnival 2025. There's certainly no place like home. With teleSUR English, I'm Mishron Robinson.
Well, that's it for our Carnival Time program. Thank you for your company, for following us and staying together for all of these days of Carnival that we've had a lived experience with. Where a little bit more days. And that's it for our Carnival Time program. Thank you for your company, for following us, and for learning together how these days of Carnival are lived, where the brightness and the mix of culture and resistance have shown us that we have so much more in common than we had